Hello, welcome back to my channel. I'm Ruby, this is Ruby Red, and today we're gonna play my TBR game, tic-tac-TBR. If you've never seen this game before, I put random prompts into a 3x3 grid, and then throughout the month I try and read books that are gonna complete a 3 in a row, and then I get a reward if I do that. And if I do it too many times, like if I fill the whole board, I have to add a challenge prompt, which is a book from my 30x30 list. And that book stays on the board until I read it. And there's no punishments. And I think that's it. So as always, below I'm linking the playlist, which is sometimes out of date, sorry, and also the Google Sheets template that you can copy and save to your own drive and then adjust the prompts to suit your needs, and you can play your own game. It's super fun, or you can just play along with me in the comments and use my prompts. Okay, so the first thing we have to do is talk about the previous month, which was July. I know the names of the months. Okay, so the prompts for July were an adaptation, book with an adaptation, a book that was recently added to my Goodreads, a climate fiction book, a book written by a woman of color, a book that was on my shelf, a book with a black cover, a nonfiction book, a Connor pick, and my challenge prompt right now is To the Lighthouse by Virginia Woolf. So how did I do? Well, so the first prompt that I fulfilled in July was on my shelf, and for that I read Leviathan Wakes by James S.A. Corey. This I buddy read with Martine and Lizzie, and that was really fun. Then I read a nonfiction book, which was This Book is Overdue by Marilyn Johnson, and that book was the Connor pick from June, which I didn't explain at the beginning because we're done with that actually. It's not happening anymore, so you don't need to know. But yeah, I read that. It was nonfiction, beautiful. It was fine, actually. It was just fine, but I read it. And then I read a climate fiction book, which was Migrations by Charlotte. I forget, but it's up there. And that was a book about climate change, kind of. A fiction book related to climate change. I really loved that book. And I'm excited to read more from that author whose name has escaped me. But that's actually it. So we did manage to still get 1 3 in a row, but yeah, I didn't finish To the Lighthouse. I didn't finish any of the other. I'm currently reading a few books, but those are the only ones that I finished. I just haven't been reading very much. It's been hard. I don't really know. I've just been feeling a little bit stressed in general. And that has prevented me from being able to just like enjoy reading. I also think like maybe I spent too much time reading books that like I didn't love. I don't know. But there you go. That's July. That's it. So I'm gonna get 1 reward for August, and we're gonna keep To the Lighthouse, which I will be reading in August, because now it's time for the housekeeping announcements portion, I guess. In August, I will be beginning my second attempt at the 75 hard reading challenge, not the 75 hard other one, which I did last year around this time, and I did complete the challenge. It was really hard. At the time I said I will never do this again, but then a bunch of my friends wanted to do it again, and I had FOMO about it, and so I'm doing it again, and I've sort of changed the parameters. I'll link the video where I talk about what happened to me when I did this the first time. I'll link that below, but basically it involves 3 things that you do for 30 minutes a day, every single day for 75 days in a row. Anyway, the way that it was designed by the creator of this challenge is that you spend 30 minutes exercising every day, 30 minutes reading one category of book, a backlist book perhaps, and then 30 minutes reading an arc or some other category of book that you just feel like you need to work on. So this really just pushes you to like hit those goals or whatever. And in this round, I'm actually changing that up. So I'm only gonna spend 30 minutes reading because I wanted to sort of increase the movement, and I wanted to insert a meditation practice. So it's gonna be hard in a different way, but I am going to be starting August 1st for 75 days in a row, reading at least 30 minutes every day, a book from my 30 by 30 list. So for that reason, I feel confident that we'll get through to The Lighthouse because that's the first one that I'm gonna be reading. Okay, and the other thing for August is that I'm gonna read the Shelf This Book Club pick, which is Bailey's Book Club, co-hosted in August by Danielle, and the book is A Dowry of Blood. So that's also on my radar. We'll see if she will fit the new board. I think that's everything. Let's get going. So I have 10 rewards now. I added another one. I added a reward that's just reading day, in which I'm envisioning myself like doing everything that I could possibly want to do instead of reading on a reading day. Like I will like make sure everything is clean, and I will prep some food, and I will like do all the things, and then I'll just get to spend that one entire day reading. That's what that reward is supposed to be. A little treat for me. Okay, let's just pick the reward that we got, which is double up, 1 book, 2 prompts. Okay, that one's good too. So for one of the books that I read in August, I'll be able to use it for 2 prompts. Okay, there we go. So now it's time to pick our prompts. Now I have 80 prompts, and our first prompt is climate fiction, which is funny because I did shuffle them. So, I mean, it's all random either way, like whether I shuffle them or I pick new random numbers, like, anyway. Climate fiction, which is a fiction book that has something to do with climate change. I probably will actually make a move to read the other book by that author. It's called like Once There Were Wolves. Or maybe I'll read The Bees, which Martine just read and loved. Or maybe I'll read Pod, which Lizzie loved. So, options. Okay, our next prompt is a random letter. So I guess now I will pick a random letter, and then either the title or either of the author's names has to start with that letter. I'm really chill about it, okay? Generate. It's an O. So, all right, let's take a look at my Goodreads and just look at some of the books that I have already decided I want to read that start with O. We've got Outline by Rachel Cusk. That one has been on the back burner for me, but I'm really want to get to that. Ordinary Monsters, that I doubt I will attempt in the next month because I know it's really long. The Only One Left by Riley Sager. We'll see if I could possibly get a hold from that. Unlikely. Once There Were Wolves, that's the Cli-Fi book. So if I read that, then I could double up. That would be so fun. Okay, let's leave it at that. Next prompt. The next prompt is about food/cooking. That is so fun. I haven't gotten this one yet. It's something that I love in books, is when there is like a lot of it is about food or or cooking, or like that's what the prompt. It's what it says. Ugh. So I'm taking recommendations down below, but I do remember recently Martine read a book, The Last Chinese Chef. That's probably not quite right, but that's a contender because that was a book about food. I don't know what else I have on my TBR though. I would have to take a really good little look around, but I would love for you to please drop your favorite food book in the comments because I love a food book, fiction or nonfiction, to be honest. Like maybe I could read My Life in France, which is Julia Child's book about her life in France. I'm sure there's lots of food in that. Okay, I'm excited about that. I hope that I can fulfill that prompt because it's been a while since I've read a good food book. Our next prompt is my 30 by 30. I'm surrounded on all sides. This is a prompt which is encouraging me to read a book from my 30 by 30 list. Now, I have read 15 of those books and I have 15 left. And I will admit right now that I have recently removed 3 books from that list that I no longer actually wanted to read, and I replaced them with books that were similar in theme and also in intimidation. Like, I tried to match them pretty well. But the 30 by 30 list was always supposed to be books that I actually wanted to read, not books I should read. So once I was looking at this list, I was like, I have actually no desire to read some of these books. I just feel like I should because I've had them for so long. So those are gone and they're replaced. So that's just something worth mentioning, I guess. But because of my 75 hard, I'm gonna be making good progress. So I guess since I have to finish 2 in this month, I will probably read one of the other short ones after To the Lighthouse. So probably, I think Giovanni's Room is on there. That one's pretty short. Not that it has to be a short one, but I want to set myself up for success. Okay, our next prompt is gonna be library, physical. That stinks. This feels just challenging right now because I am moving at the end of August, so I wasn't planning on getting any more books physically from the library just because I'm like, it will feel scary to me to have them and know that I have a stronger deadline than normal about when they have to be done and returned by, because I will be leaving. So we'll see about that. I could definitely still get and read a book from the library. I don't know why I'm acting like it's gonna be so impossible because I only have 1 month. Like, this game is only spanning 1 month, so that shouldn't be intimidating to me, but it is. Okay, our next prompt is a book with an animal on the cover. Okay, I know what it's gonna be. It's gonna be Ship of Destiny, which I'm actually currently reading, but I better finish it in August. I'm going to. It reads so fast. But there's a dragon on the cover of this, so that's an animal, even though it's imaginary. It's a fantasy, whatever. That's an easy one. Next. Hoopla. That's one I don't think I've had before. Hoopla is the other place where I get audiobooks besides Libby. Sometimes if a book is really popular, there's a really long hold on Libby, but if you go to Hoopla, like, they don't have holds. It's either available or it's not. And mostly, like, they will have really popular books available. So I guess that's what I will do. They also have ebooks, but if you get an ebook from Hoopla, you have to read it on Hoopla, and I don't like that. So yeah, that's audiobook. So that will be something I will look for. Maybe I'll be able to get the new Riley Sager. Okay, let's get our final prompt because of Virginia Woolf. Blue cover. Wow, simple, sweet, short, sweet, and to the point. Books with blue cover. Well, actually, my Giovanni's Room copy has a blue cover. I've also been really wanting to read Remarkably Bright Creatures, which has a mostly blue cover, and I actually could probably get the audiobook for that from Hoopla. Another way that I could double up prompts. I've heard really good things about the audiobook, so I would like to read it like that. I don't know who else is blue, but those are the prompts. And let me know again about any food books that you want to recommend to me specifically. Of course, all recommendations always welcome, but that's what I need. And I do have that one reward, so that's thrilling. And that's gonna be it for August. Yeah, this is my last month living in San Diego. It is a month where I will be finishing up my summer class and actually starting my fall classes, so that's like not ideal for a move, but that's okay. we're gonna make it work and we're gonna enjoy some books. And also I'm taking recommendations for road trip audiobooks because I'm gonna take a road trip and I'm gonna need a bunch of audiobooks. So let's start those recommendations right now. Thank you. All right, thank you so much for watching. Thanks for playing along. Thanks for joining me here today. I'm glad you were here, and I hope to see you back here sometime soon for another video. Okay, take care. Goodbye.